What up, YouTube? So today I'm doing a first impression for you guys, and I'm really excited about the first impressions that I'm going to be doing. There's a lot of new makeup that has come out since the start of the new year, and most of them, actually all of them that I am going to be doing first impressions on are drugstore. Just for me, money wise and just access wise, I love drugstore. It's, to me, it's just as good as high end. If you've watched my videos, I'm pretty sure I've said that before. I'm going to be doing a first impression on a foundation, and this one is by NYX, and it is called the Total Control Drop Foundation. I picked this up last night at my Target, and it costs around $13.99. I'm actually really excited to try this out. With this foundation, you are able to control how much foundation you want to use. So if you want a sheer coverage, I believe it's like 2 to 3 drops, whereas if you want a full coverage, it's like 5+ drops. So I like full coverage because I like to conceal all the imperfections on my face. This dropper thing kind of really intrigued me. I don't know why. I do have another foundation like this, the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea, which is kind of the same, but I don't know. I feel like I might like this. It has 0.43 fluid ounces, which isn't that much compared to other foundations. I hope I got my right shade. At my Target, there's only 5 shades, I think, and the darkest shade is like only a shade darker than me. So I thought that might have been my shade, but I think it would have been better to go light than dark because it had more of a yellow undertone, like really yellow, and it just seemed darker. I expect the consistency to be very liquidy, being that it's, you need a dropper to use it. So let's just see how the consistency is. Oh yeah, super liquidy. It's very liquidy, but it blends like very nicely, and it's like kind of seamless. Like you can kind of see the coverage right there. It has pretty good coverage for 1 drop. It has a matte finish, if you are wondering, and that's what it says too. It dries or has a matte velvet finish. It says it on the box. I tried looking for this a couple weeks ago and it wasn't at my Target, and it just popped up recently, so it might be available now. I tried looking at like Ulta, they didn't have it. Walmart, they didn't have it. And I don't even think Walmart carries NYX. And then I tried Long's or CVS, they didn't have it. So I was actually surprised to find it at Target because I feel like Target is usually behind when it comes to new makeup coming out. So I think that is it. And let's get started. So I have prepped and primed my face, and now I'm going to be going in with the foundation. I am going to use these 2 brushes to apply. This one to spread it on my face, and then this one to blend it out. I rarely use a beauty blender, I think because of it's not readily available like a brush is. Like you just pick it up and go. So I think that's why I don't really use a beauty blender too often. I do use a dry beauty blender for my concealer. Anyways, I'm going to apply 5 drops to my face. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pick up some product. And then I'm just going to apply it to my face. I would have to say though, well that's kind of light. I'd have to say that for the liquidy consistency, it absorbed into the brush pretty quickly. So you might lose some coverage and have to put on more than you would need. You know what I mean? Like when you use a beauty blender type of deal. But it seems to be kind of disappearing already, so I'm just gonna start working it in. I don't know if it dries fast, but I don't want it to, because that would So it's been a while since I've filmed, so I should have just done one side of the face so we could do a comparison, but we're just gonna have to remember what it looked like. So, based off of the first application, I would have to say it definitely does dry like a velvety matte. I can see that on my skin. For using 5 to 6 drops, I don't feel like, excuse my daughter, I don't feel like the coverage is full. I feel like you could still see some redness and some the dark circles under my eyes. Redness, not so much. Like right here for me around my eyes, it gets pretty dark. I wouldn't say it's redness, probably just the darkness, but as you can see, it's not really concealed all the way like a full coverage foundation should do. Also up here, but by the time that I put foundation up here, it was already like drying up. There wasn't really any much product going up there. To the places that I did apply quite a lot of product, I feel like it did cover pretty well. I feel like it did dry pretty fast though, so I would probably work on a section of my face before, moving on to the next. But I'm gonna put on one more layer of 5 to 6 drops and see how the coverage turns out for kind of this part of my face, like the forehead and the eyes area. But the match isn't too bad. It actually matches my skin tone. So we're gonna put on another layer. So the only thing about using a dropper foundation is that you have to be really careful. Like you definitely have to have a, solid surface to be doing your makeup. It's not like a pump where you could just do your makeup in the car kind of thing. So I need a mirror. Who am I trying to be? So I feel like this, if the foundation is good, I'd probably want it to be in a pump form rather than the whole dropper thing. So as you saw, I really focused on the areas that needed more coverage, and I feel like it really helped. So I think for me, if I were to use this foundation again, I'd probably need 10 drops total, 5 on the bottom and 5 on the top. I just felt like when I applied it to my forehead, it dried really fast or it absorbed really quickly into the brush, which caused me to use more product, because it says that 5 to 6 drops equals total coverage, which means it should cover your whole face, right? But I felt like my forehead wasn't covered well as my eyes. That's when the foundation just started to dry up. I'd say the coverage right now looks really good. I really like how it looks on the skin. I feel like I still look, somewhat natural. I don't really look too cakey, which I like, and it feels light. I'm interested in seeing how this photographs with flash. So I'm going to take a picture with my iPhone. Okay, it looks good. I keep wiping my nose so you can really see like where I've wiped. But it looks good. It doesn't really have a white cast. I am going to finish the rest of my face and let the foundation set, and I will see you guys literally in like a second. But literally it took me like an hour. Okay? What up, YouTube? So I just finished the rest of my face, as you can see, and I went full blown out. Not good for a first impression video, but I did apply concealer, the RCMA loose powder, the BH Cosmetics face powder. I do get really oily. That is my main concern of wearing this all day, is to see how oily my face gets or if it doesn't get oily at all. So far, I do like how it looks, and it's definitely set. I do like, though, that you can see some imperfections, like how I have some pimple scars and how I have my beauty mark and stuff like that. I just don't want to see redness, but I do like that you can see some imperfections, so it kind of gives you like a natural foundation look rather than just being all caked, you know? So I do like the coverage and how it looks. So I know this is like full blown out of proportion. It would be best to just wear the foundation on its own and maybe just one setting powder, but I'm really oily, so I really want to see how it holds up with my normal routine of what I do when I wear makeup. This is the face that I have for the rest of the day. It's 2:56, 2:55 right now, and I will be wearing it for the rest of the day. I do work tonight, so I'll probably take it off before work, but I don't have to go until 11, so I'll be wearing it for about 7 to 8 hours. This makeup has already been on for like an hour already, so I'll probably see you guys in a couple hours just to see how things are holding up. What up, YouTube? So it is 6:40 right now, so it's been about almost 4 hours since I have ended the video, but it's been almost 5 hours, maybe 5 plus, since I've worn the foundation, and so far it looks not bad. I did kind of OD with the highlighter, so I may look shiny in spots that aren't necessarily oily, but for me, a big area that gets pretty oily is the forehead, as well as kind of like right here. So right now, that is not happening though. It's kind of creasing right here. I did put powder to prevent that, but my face is just really bad, but really good for reviews. But so far, it looks amazing. It looks good for a drugstore foundation. Most definitely by now, my face would be oily, and all of this, you know, bronzer, blush, highlighter would be all gone. My mascara would probably even be smearing right now. But none of that is happening, so I am really stoked so far about this foundation. Just for it to last this long, girl. But let's take a picture just to see how it looks. So with flash, ooh, girl, looks amazing. Holy crap. It's honestly not shocking me as much as it should, honestly, because I haven't played with makeup in so long, and I haven't worn makeup for such a long time within a day. So I feel like, you know, duh, it's gonna look like this, but this is amazing. Like, I have foundations that don't look like this, don't photograph like this, don't look like this all day. This foundation is sickening. It's so good. NYX, girl. It looks natural too. It doesn't look cakey. It's not clumping up anywhere. It just looks like your skin is just naturally good. I am going to continue wearing it maybe 3.5 more hours, try and get a solid 8 hours out of it. But girl, this is my check-in, and I will see you guys in a couple hours. What up, YouTube? So I'm doing my final check-in for this first impression review, and it is 10 o'clock on the dot right now. So I've been wearing this foundation for a total of 7 hours since I ended the video, but for a total of 8 hours, and I would have to say, let me look at it first. It's starting to feel oily on my face, like that type of feeling where I want to take it off now, but it still feels light. It doesn't feel cakey. It honestly doesn't feel like I have anything on my face. When I look in the mirror, I still see my bronzer, my blush, my highlighter. So I really, really like that. I definitely have oils coming through. As you can see, right here is really shiny. I'm getting oily in here as well as a little bit right here. Honestly, it still looks kind of good. Like, I would still jam this out. I wouldn't even like take it off or redo it or touch it up. It just looks good to me. So I would have to say that this foundation is definitely good. I am gonna be reaching for it a lot. I normally don't wear makeup for 8 hours. Even when I play around at home, I usually take it off within the hour that I'm done. But just for the fact that I know my skin will look good for a while, I may not even be taking off my makeup. So I definitely think it's worth it. The price point, it's definitely on a higher end for drugstore foundations, but in general, for a foundation this good, it is pretty good. If you're looking for full coverage, I don't know how many more drops you would need to achieve that. For me, the 10 drops total, it gave me kind of like a medium coverage. I wouldn't say it was sheer, but I wouldn't say it was full either. It did conceal some spots, but it didn't conceal everything. In general, this foundation is bomb. If you're able to get it, or if you see it, grab it. Let me know what you think, because I honestly think this foundation is really good. And this is the first time I've ever used a NYX foundation, so girl, please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love for your support. It truly means a lot to me. If you want to keep up with me elsewhere, I am on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. My name is spelled the same that is here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have any requests, anything you want to see, leave them down below. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!